Hey guys, welcome back to Slate Me. I'm your host Samantha here, and this is the seventh episode of Slate Me season 2. And I'm really excited because we have some really cool guests for you today. And I'm gonna do just a quick intro. We'll cut to break and we'll come with my first guest. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see y'all in just 1 second.
This doesn't feel right.
Okay, now it's your turn.
We had a home.
Hey, that wasn't the home. Hey. Now, who's been looking out for you?
You.
Yeah. It's damn straight.
Thank you for stopping.
Yeah, no problem. Where y'all headed?
Next town, anywhere with fucking shade in a box, honestly.
You must be Rachel.
Yeah, sorry. I am Rachel of Rachel's Bed and Breakfast. The room on the right is taken.
Another guest? Or...
He doesn't bother anybody. But if you see a tallish man lurking around, don't be scared.
Scared.
You're gonna have to get in the back, man. Sorry.
Step out of the car, Max.
You just need to get the fuck out of my car right now. What the
No one fucks with the royal cut. Thank you.
Anyone drink coffee? Hey guys, welcome back to Slate Me. I'm your host Samantha here, and this is my first guest. You want to go ahead and introduce yourself for us?
Hi, I'm Leah Weinberger. I am one of the owners of Edgen Films. We are a film production company, independent film.
Ooh. So we're going to go ahead and just jump right into the interview today. So my first question for you is, what is the principal job for a CBDO? You want to kind of explain that for us?
I am the Chief Business Development Officer for Edgen Films, which means it's my responsibility to develop any and all business, meaning leads for, say, commercials or leads for investors for film, anything that would lend itself to our business. I'm the person that goes out and sources it, makes those connections, develops those relationships, and hopefully, contracts, works out a great product.
Awesome.
Pretty
yeah.
fun.
Perfect. So you already mentioned that you're the co-founder of Edgen Films.
Mm-hmm.
So who are the other owners? Do you want to?
Yes, my business partners are the Durbins. Justin Durbin is a world-class composer. You've heard his music in Harry Potter, The Goblet of Fire, and tons of stuff. You have to look up his IMDb. It is massive, pages and pages and pages. Yeah, he's done amazing stuff. Worked at Skywalker Ranch. Just a phenomenal natural musician. And his wife, Nicole.
Perfect. Yeah. So you are also a screenwriter and
Yes.
have found success in festivals. Do you want to tell us about that, specifically bits and pieces?
Bits and Pieces. Bits and Pieces was my first entry into the business. And basically it came about because I joined a contest to write a script, a short script. I had never written a script before. I had never written a short film script before, and I thought it would be fun. So I entered the contest literally the night before it ended.
Uh-huh.
And so I had 4 hours, and I went and I wrote 2 scripts. And then I entered them both anonymously because I thought, wow, these people are so nice. They're going to be so sweet. And I didn't want to make anybody uncomfortable saying, oh, this really sucks. Sorry, Leia. So I just entered them both anonymously, and I won first and second prize. And the prize was pitching to a director. So I went to pitch to a director, and I walked out with Justin Durbin as a director and a DP, John Hafner, who now works in LA.
Yeah.
And we did Bits and Pieces in a weekend. And there we go. That was sort of backwards. And the funniest thing about it is I said, well, who's going to get all this stuff together? And they're like, oh, you're going to produce it.
This
Go
is
get
you,
this stuff.
all you.
Yeah, it was all me. I'm like, okay, that was my first foray into producing. So we produced it, and we won, and it was actually showcased also at South by Southwest. My business partner, Justin Durbin, went to a question and answer session about it because it seemed to be a little controversial at the time, since she dies.
Uh-oh.
I know, I can't.
So what does Edgen Films do for a filmmaker?
It depends on what the filmmaker himself wants. We tend to work with the same crew, and we are lucky enough to meet enough writers that bring in these amazing projects, and we work in the independent sphere. So we're able to get your project done and walk you through the business aspect of it, and that's what we're really strong with, is the behind the scenes, getting everything in order, making sure that you have what you need to get your project completed, out of post, and distributed, start to finish.
Oh yeah, so you already mentioned that you're a producer, so you've produced other films including Bigfoot Wars, which I'm pretty sure you told me about before the show. Was it hard putting a new spin on such a well-known subject?
Actually, I was actually working in the production office. I wasn't one of the producers. I was one of the assistant producers.
Oh, okay.
But it was a blast. It was really amazing. And we shot it in a swamp in triple digits. We worked with this amazing artist, Melissa and Phil Nichols. They did the costuming. Just wonderful, wonderful artists. And it was so much fun to put a new spin on the story and to look at this legend and to flip it to something that could happen today if you just kind of close your eyes and think. And then we had all these people come out because they believed in Bigfoot. And it gave us evidence and told us stories. It was the most amazing thing.
Yeah. So besides Edgen Films, you have 2 affiliate companies. Do you want to tell us about those?
Yes, we also own Global Media 2, Global Media 2. It's a film distribution company. And we also own Four Real School of Film. And that's a film school for kids in Austin, and it's amazing. Beautiful programs, really, really well done, and we give them hands-on experience. So it's not someone standing up and talking, it's kids themselves writing scripts and shooting film and doing, working the camera. So it's just really great hands-on experience. It's a lot of fun.
We'll have to talk more about that after the show. So, do you have any projects coming up that you want to tell us about?
We have scripts in development, absolutely. Our favorite one is Vikings versus Werewolves. Pretty cool, huh? It's a lot of fun. It's a tale, it's a new origin myth for werewolves, and it's Vikings versus werewolves, so it's a whole Game of Thrones kind of deal, full of women empowerment.
Ooh.
It is just absolutely beautifully done. I was lucky enough to write it, and it is just fantastic, and we're producing it ourselves, and so always looking for investors. If you're up and you love werewolves and you like Vikings and you like the whole Game of Thrones vibes, give me a call.
Wink, wink.
Yes.
So we're wrapping up. We're coming to the end of the interview, and there's a particular question that I ask every single one of my guests that come on the show, and that's, what would be your best piece of advice for someone coming into the industry? And I really love hearing everybody's different answers because everybody has such different opinions on things. So what would be your best advice?
I have a piece of advice and I have a caveat.
All right, let's go.
My best piece of advice to you is to be professional. It's so simple. Show up, have your stuff ready, show up on time, do the best job possible, and have fun.
For sure.
Don't be discouraged if you don't get a role or you don't get a part or you don't get a gig. You just keep pushing on and on and on. And the more you develop your craft side, knowing what to do on set, knowing how to be a good worker, a good employee, a good actor, a sharing actor, a trustworthy actor, the more gigs you will get. So do not give up. It is tough out there, but there's plenty of opportunity.
Yeah.
There really is.
For sure.
The second piece of advice is stick to your goals, make plans, and get the support. There is a company I'm developing. It's called Accountability Wins, and it is a goal-setting support company, which means that, say you want to do a piece of work, you want to take a class.
Yeah.
And you know how they have these things where, you're just supposed to type in, I took lessons.
Yeah.
This company actually calls you every week. Did you do your lessons? Or you're not doing your lessons? Let's see how we can work this out for you. And sets up a project plan so that you can achieve. So even if no one's in your corner, accountability wins will give you that support. So it's pretty cool.
Awesome, yeah.
Surround yourself with good people.
For sure. Yeah, that's really what it is, because if you surround yourself with good people, you get to focus on you, and you get to focus on what you're doing, and you don't have to worry about other things. Yeah.
Exactly.
Like for me, I like to direct. That's my favorite thing to do. So I like to find a crew that I don't have to worry about. As a director, I don't have to worry about my sound people. I don't have to worry about what they're doing, because I know that if there's a problem, they're going to come to me.
Exactly.
I don't have to be worrying about other things except directing.
I love my crew. I've worked with the same
Oh,
crew
yeah.
on and on every production. They're amazing artists. I always say that they're the artist in front of the camera and then the artist behind the camera.
For sure. We don't get enough credit behind the camera.
We don't, but I tell you, there's some serious
For
heavy
sure, yeah.
hitters in town, in Austin,
yeah.
and I'm sure in Dallas as
Oh,
well.
yeah.
That are just amazing.
Knock your socks off.
I know, and they do. You're like,
For
wow,
sure.
how did you figure that out? Like, oh, I thought it would look good, and oh, it looks amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're just people that have the craft, the art.
They do. I always think it's two things. One is the craft, which is something that you can learn, you can take classes, you can read, you can talk to people, and the other piece is the gift. You have to have both, but you can develop a lot if you do your craft work. And if you have the gift, don't be lazy. Go learn your craft.
Exactly. For sure, yeah. And keep learning.
Yeah. It never ends. You always learn something interesting.
Oh,
about
for sure,
it.
yeah. I learn something new every show. Yeah. I learn from people all the time.
I wanted to also address the thing, what is the biggest challenge you think people see on set?
Oh, the tables have turned. Now I'm getting the questions.
See, this is communication. It's like you ask and I ask and you answer. It's cool.
So basically for me, as an actress, I had a difficult time when I first started in taking criticism.
Oh, yeah.
It's not personal, especially if you go into an audition and you don't get it, it's not personal. We kind of talked about that a little bit, is that it's not necessarily, it's you, it's pick and choose. Does this person want to dye their hair? No? Okay, how about this one?
Exactly.
Kind of thing. It's not necessarily you, and I had a really hard time kind of accepting that and saying, well, what if it is me? What if it's not good enough?
No, that's the art, because as an artist, right, you're putting your vulnerability, everything, you're putting it out there, and you're saying, every single stranger in this room who doesn't know me from Adam, please judge me. And it's hard. I always liken it to being, it's like you're in a group of 30 people, they have spotlights on you, you're in the middle naked. There you go.
Yeah.
It's a horrible feeling.
It's frightening, for sure.
It's very frightening, which is why it's so brave to be vulnerable and to be able to be vulnerable in front of people. So when you hear criticisms, it's very hard not to
jab to the side.
But it's so not that. They're not even thinking what you're thinking in your head. They're not even thinking. They got their head somewhere else. And usually, what you're hearing is criticism. Honestly, it's advice.
For sure, take it.
Yes,
take
learn.
everything.
Yes.
If somebody, and most of the time, I'm not going to say every time, most of the time people are it's helpful criticism. They're not just, oh, you're not good, you need to fix that. It's normally something that you can take and apply to yourself. And as an actress, I get to pick and choose what I take and what I give. But I really like when directors or somebody is telling me criticism, because then I get to think, oh, okay, so they're seeing it from this side, so maybe I can change this a little bit and make it look better.
Yes, and that's part of the vulnerability and of being humble.
Humble, for sure.
That's kind of a hard thing for us to kind of look at, because we're artists, and part of being artistic is having a sense of pride and a sense of ego, because we really do know what we're doing.
Oh yeah,
right?
for sure.
So it's sometimes hard also for us to come back. But the thing is, if you make yourself vulnerable to people that are trying to help you, they will tend to help you more.
Oh yeah.
The worst thing you can do is take it personal and then just shut it down, because then nothing works. And
Nothing
then,
happens.
Yeah, exactly. And the best person I ever saw was an actor we had worked with. He played Bishop. Oh God, I'm gonna lose his name. I can't remember his name. He played Bishop in Alien. Oh my goodness. Pardon? Lance Henriksen. A joy of a man to work with. Sorry, Lance. I love you. But Lance was reading the script and he's like, hey, could I talk to the director? I just had this one, and it was the most humbling thing done ever. And I'm like, oh, of course.
Yeah.
And the director came over and was like, that's a great idea. And it was just the way he approached it. He had such a sense of humbleness and vulnerability that we would bend over and do backflips for him. He was amazing, and he was right. He was right. So it's how you build your reputation and your professionalism on set.
Because I feel like as an actress, you have to have a certain amount of hardness and a certain amount of confidence in yourself, but you can't be overconfident. You always have to take criticism, and you can't be like, well, I know what I'm doing. I know exactly what I'm doing, and none of your ideas are useless to me because I know exactly what I'm doing. But you also have to say, you have to have enough confidence in yourself to say, well, this is what I'm doing. And if you have advice, cool, I'll take it, I'll listen to it, but I have enough confidence in myself to know that I'm doing okay.
Exactly. Robert Downey Jr. once said that. He's like, listen to what they say, nod your head, and then do what you were going to do in the first place.
Yeah.
And it's kind of where you have to be. Do you find yourself constrained because of your age?
For sure. I'm extremely young to be at least directing, for sure. There's not a whole lot of young people behind the camera.
Yet.
And people look at me and be like, she doesn't have any schooling, she doesn't know what she's doing, she's, a child. But there are people, and I'm very grateful for the people here in Dallas that have looked at me and looked behind, seen me for who I am and not just because of my age. And so you just have to find the right people. But I've come towards people that refuse to work with me, refuse to take direction from me because of my age. They think that I just don't know what I'm doing.
I see, that's the pride that will kill you on set.
Oh,
you
yeah.
Really can't have that. But it's interesting to me that you seem to acknowledge it, you see it coming, and you deal with it.
Oh, yeah.
Do you find that being a young female is the same thing or less or more?
Thankfully, here in the Dallas industry at least, I have not come towards, because a lot of the people I work with celebrate diversity.
Excellent.
And race and sexuality and gender, and they just embrace it. They don't really think, oh, she's a woman, she can't do it. They embrace it and say, well, come work with us and let's see what you got, kind of thing, and not doubting just because of one aspect.
Talent rules. Talent
for sure.
supersedes, and talent and hard work. If you have a work ethic, it's 98% of it, sincerely. You have to have the gift, work on your craft, and know how to work. Literally know how to work.
For sure, yeah. I agree. Well, wow, the tables turned, and then I had to answer questions. But thank you so much for being on my show today.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you. Is there any social media or anywhere we can find you at?
You can at Accountability Wins. We also have edgeandfilms.com. You can go there. I'm on Facebook, Leah Weinberger. Friend me if you like. I'm very open to mentoring, and I work with a lot of young writers and students because someone helped me when I started out, so I am very open to giving back as much as I possibly can. And if we all work together, we all rise, right? Yeah, see? Works like that.
Oh, so thank you so much, Leah, for coming on my show today. I honestly feel so blessed. So I'm going to definitely keep up with your work and watch Bigfoot Wars.
Yes, and sightings.
Yes.
And 3 days. And spirit riders and shadow people.
Oh, yeah. I will keep watching. So we're going to cut to break, and I will come with my next guest after the break. But thank you so much. We'll see you in a little bit.
Bye, guys.
Are you ready?
Tired of living in the darkness, man. It's all I've ever known. All that's ever known me besides her. You ever think about suicide? I mean, really thought about it. Like there might be no other way out. It's a dark place to exist. And I've lived with the burden of that for far too long, longer than I can remember, and it's suffocating me. No fire, no inferno could top that. In fact, I'd invite God to the challenge.
God. Where did you find him in all of this?
Hey guys, welcome back to Slate Me. I'm your host Samantha here, and for our next segment, we're going to be doing a Skype call with one lovely lady named Rebecca Kennedy. And so I guess we'll just go ahead and jump right into that. Hi. Hello. I can't hear anything. Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Oh yeah, now I can hear you. Perfect.
Hi.
Hello. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. So I guess we'll just go ahead and jump right into the interview, huh?
Okay, sounds good. And I apologize for like the doors in the back. It's kind of weird. But.
It's okay. You're good. So the first question I've got for you today is, how did you get into the film industry? Did you go to film school, or how did you do that?
Yeah, so I actually started out in theater when I was about 12. And I hadn't really have an interest in film and TV until I kind of went to college, and I was in college for theater, and they were offering like a film class. So I took those in college, and then I graduated college and was still kind of doing the theater thing. And then a friend of mine was like, hey, have you thought about doing, film and TV as well? So I was like, I hadn't really. So I just started submitting for short films and student films and started auditioning and then got an agent and kind of just went from there. So,
awesome, yeah. So from what I've seen of what you've been in, you're kind of hooked on slasher films, huh? Is that like intentional? Do you do that on purpose, or?
Well, I've been lucky actually. The horror films I've been in have been different. So I did was kind of like a more psychological thriller, I guess you could say. And then I had one that was more of a monster movie, and then this last one, Bastard, was definitely a slasher film. But yeah, no, doing horror films definitely wasn't intentional. I didn't go in thinking, oh, I'm going to do horror films. I loved them growing up. I still love watching them. It kind of just was a thing I started booking at the beginning, and definitely thankful for them as they've opened a lot of doors and they've been a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah. So for one of your first big films, you played a character named Hannah in of course, a scary movie. So do you want to tell us about that experience?
Yeah, so that was like my first lead in a feature film, and we filmed in Virginia, in Charlottesville, so it was kind of scary, the fact that I was going away on location, and it was kind of like my first lead, so I was definitely nervous going into it. I didn't really know what to expect. Cast, it's got Mark Singer and Art LaFleur, and they were just, the whole cast was awesome and welcoming, and we just like became a family for that month. And it was cold even though we filmed, we started like in March. It was when we landed, there was still snow on the ground, so it was really cold the first couple weeks, and then by the end it was nice. The sun was out and the snow was starting to melt, and finally I was starting to get warm up, and then we left. So, but yeah, it was a really great experience. Yeah, I'm really lucky to have gotten to do it.
Fantastic. Yeah. So we just saw the trailer for your film Bastard. That's nearing a cult classic status. So the trailer alone has over, 115,000 views. So what is that film about?
So Bastard is basically about five strangers who end up in a bed and breakfast in a mountain town, and then they have to fight for their survival. So yeah, that one's definitely a slasher film, but it was a lot of fun to do, and it's been well received, so I'm really excited about that.
Awesome. Yeah. So speaking of upcoming projects, you have a featured film, I believe, just came out on June 6th, which is a Marilyn Manson project called Let Me Make You a Martyr. What was that like? And how was working with Marilyn Manson?
It was awesome. So he's awesome, really great, really intelligent, funny. He kept us all laughing, as it's a really dark and intense film. We filmed in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I was there for a couple of days, and it was great. It was just a really interesting, wild experience. The house itself was just kind of a actor on its own. When you see the film, you kind of know what I'm talking about. It's a really interesting space to work in. But the directors were really awesome, and the cast was great. And like I said, Marilyn Manson is really nice, really sharp, super nice guy. And I didn't actually get to go because I was already home, but he had a show in Oklahoma, and the people that were left, the cast and the crew, got to go to the show. And he's just a really incredibly generous and nice guy.
Awesome. Yeah, that's really kind of a cool experience. So you have a number of other projects coming out soon. So do you want to tell us a little bit about like your experience auditioning for films and stuff?
Yeah, so the next one I have coming out is To the Bone, and that hits Netflix July 14th, which I'm really excited about. It's not a horror film. It's a dark comedy. I hate to say comedy just because the subject matter. It's about a girl that's trying to recover from eating disorder. But Marty Noxon, who wrote and directed, who also worked on Buffy, Girlfriend's Guide to Divorce, she's doing Sharp Objects. It's coming out on HBO. She has an incredible way of making really intense, dark material. Also has light moments, and because that is life, and there has to be irony, and she does a really good job of that. So yeah, I'm excited about that one coming out. As far as auditioning, auditioning is such a weird experience. It's not like being on a set. It's just its own kind of entity. It's kind of like I have to have a craft for that on its own, just going in the room, and you're sitting, in a chair in a white space, and there's, not any, sometimes there's other actors with you, but sometimes you're just reading with whoever's there.
Yeah.
And, you have to put yourself in the world of whatever you're auditioning for. And you have to really use your imagination and put stuff in the room that's not there. So it's definitely a weird and interesting experience. A lot of A-listers say they're really bad at auditioning, and, it makes sense. It's really a difficult thing. It's kind of its own craft.
Oh, yeah. So you already talked a little bit about To the Bone that's coming out July 14th on Netflix. Look out for that one. So it's starring Lily Collins and Keanu Reeves. So what was that experience like working with such A-list actors?
Yeah, so I worked closely with Lily Collins on my scene, and she is amazing. She's so nice and so generous, and so complimentary and very sweet. And then, we saw them again at Sundance. We went to Sundance this year with it in January. And, she's just such a light and very kind and makes the set a happy place. The lead kind of sets the tone for the movie. It was definitely all about making it a wonderful collaborative experience. Keanu Reeves is awesome. He's so laid back and kind and kind of just goes with the flow. He's very unassuming, introduces himself as if you don't know who he is. He's just very humble guy.
Awesome, yeah. So we're nearing the end of this interview, but there's a question that I like to ask all of my guests that come onto my show, and that is, what is the best piece of advice you could give somebody to coming into the film industry? So what would be your best piece of advice?
Oh gosh, that's tough. Don't give up. It's a really hard industry. Film and TV, it's just, I don't know if anyone can really prepare someone for how difficult it can be. I'm, out here in Los Angeles, and, the competition is fierce. There's a lot of really talented actors and a lot of people that, are trying to be actors, and it's just, there's a lot of us. And I feel like you just have to keep going and not give up. I feel like people that, maybe don't make it, it's because they quit.
Yeah.
You never know when the next audition is, that's the role you're going to book, and that's the role that's going to take you where you need to be in the next step. It's just every day there's new opportunities and new chances to, move up or whatever you want for your career. If you give up, you can never know. You'll never know what the future held for you. So.
For sure, yeah. That's some really good advice. Like, I've heard a lot of different people's advice, and I've never heard that one before, so.
Yeah, it's, I think, all the practical stuff is there, get headshots, have a reel, get an agent, all that stuff's really helpful, and you need to know that stuff. But in the end, all that stuff isn't going to help you if you can't keep going.
For sure.
If you give up, all that stuff is kind of, pointless. So for me, that's been a really big mantra for me, is just every day, just keep grinding, keep going.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. So thank you so much, Rebecca, for being on my show today. And I want to ask you if you have any social media or anywhere that we could find to keep up with your work.
Yeah, so I'm on Twitter at Rebecca Kennedy. It's Rebekah. And anyone tries to spell it differently. And then I'm on, there it is. I'm on Instagram. It's at Becca, Bekahk, because my name was gone, which made me really sad. And then I'm also on Facebook, same thing. So, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being on my show today.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it, all the way from here. So
you're welcome. Yeah. So thank you so much. And I will get back to y'all guys after this break. So thank you, Rebecca.
Thank you, guys.
This Slate Me music segment is brought to you by the multi-Grammy Award-winning Blue Cat Studios, located in the King William District of San Antonio, and by Hohner Instruments, a music tradition since 1857, and by H. Jimenez Guitars, tradition with innovation.
Ladies and gentlemen, anyway, my name is Dag King. I'm here to play for you in Dallas. With me I have Grady Keenan on drums, and I have Butch Fox on bass, and we're going to do a song called 20 Miles, an old classic that I wrote. It goes like this. 20 miles, 20 miles. Everybody says you're a friend of mine. You just follow the complex line. Proud that you're a friend of mine. Then I come 20 miles. 20 miles. Ooh, 20 miles. Me and my girl had this quarrel, so I hit the road, ragged and sorrow. Haven't I don't know, get so lonely. Then I come 20 miles. Ooh, 20 miles. Ooh, 20 miles. All this emptiness inside makes it feel like 100 miles. A million miles for us to drive. Then I come 20 miles. Ooh, 20 miles. Ooh, 20 miles. Everybody says you're a friend of mine, but time just lay your hand on me. Try to be free to commit myself. Then I come 20 miles. Ooh, 20 miles. Ooh, 20 miles. Ooh, 20 miles. Ooh, 20 miles.
You don't have to be on drugs to be a junkie. You can be addicted to anything.
So what? You want problems? I got problems. Want some?
Rico!
Want them?
Get out my shop.
Hey, can we meet? Wow, we're just so twisted over here.
Don't forget you live on the street, and this is my block.
Everything you love is getting high.
That's not true, don't say that.
Truth hurts, don't it?
I haven't seen you in a while.
I haven't seen you in a while. Why?
The only mistake you're making is trying to get to the front of the line without my friend.
Please.
I ain't just another one of the junkies. I'll be back on top.
All units, car 121 if you need assistance.
And they lived happily ever after.
Hey guys, welcome back to Slate Me. I'm your host Samantha here, and these are my musical guests. Y'all just heard them play a really cool song, so I'll go ahead and toss the mic around and let you introduce yourselves and tell us what instrument you play and who you are.
Hello, I'm Dad King. I play the guitar, singer-songwriter from Texas, I guess. Norway, Texas. Yes, and I'm here to promote my music, and I got to borrow this guy. What's your name, buddy?
My name is Grady Keenan from the King Country Band. Hi, Mom! No, I'm just joking, y'all. I'm proud to be, I've known Dag for probably 6-7 years now, and we've played many, many gigs together. I love him. He's a great guy. He's got a big heart. Butch.
Yeah, Butch Fox here from Mount Austin, Texas. It was real good working with you this time, Dak, and I hope we'll do it again sometime real soon, okay?
So guys, thank you for being on my show today. We've heard some pretty rad music so far, so excited to see what you'll get to see after the interview. But let's go ahead and get in with the questions I've got for y'all. So how long have you been in the music industry, singing, songwriting, playing music?
I've been playing since I was 11, 12, I guess. I had a first band, and I remember standing on first time on stage, my legs started shaking like this, and I couldn't make it stop, So that was terrible, but got a little better. And started writing songs early, and hard to make a living in the music business, so that's why we try every avenue we can, and I'm glad I got this guy to help me. He's been in the business a long time, too. Grady?
Yes, sir. Yes, I guess I have. I grew up in a musical family. My mama played the accordion, the organ, the piano. My dad played the guitar. My brother played the guitar. We had friends, uncles, aunts. Everybody in my family played something. So the only thing we didn't have was a drummer. Right. And I guess I was always born to beat on something. So, that's kind of where I went. Yes, I got my first drum set when I was 9 years old, and my first gig played at 11. So I've been at it pretty much my whole life.
Unlike Grady, I didn't come from a musical family, so I'm the black sheep. My mom always said, there goes that sorry musician out to play another gig, okay? But with that said, I've been at this, I'm not going to tell you how many years, but it's been decades. I have the pleasure to work behind a couple of names. I'm not into name dropping, but I can assure you, you know them if I was so inclined, all right? But again, guys, it's been a hoot.
Oh, yeah. That's good to get started early. I'm getting into the entertainment business pretty early, I'd say so. So, you write your own songs, right?
Yes.
So how did you, come up with songs? And I feel like it's really difficult to put songs to music. So you have probably a certain style of writing and certain style of music. So how is that difficult for you, or does that come easy?
Not easy. It just comes to me, and it's an idea that keeps lingering in my head for a long time until I finally have time and energy to sit down and finish the song. I wrote most of my songs when I was skipping school in my late 20s, because then I had the time to do it, you know. But yeah, so I hope to have more time to write more songs because it takes a lot of energy. So I understand why a lot of musicians are layabouts, because they need that time to rest, right?
That's right. I'm going to tell your third.
So don't, so don't be too hard on these guys, you know. That guy. Well, you write songs too, don't you, Grady?
I've wrote many songs. I am a songwriter as well as a drummer, and I've helped a lot of people throughout the years, young artists get started. Proud of that. It's really rewarding when you see someone's face just glowing with the fact that they're actually getting to do something they dreamed about. When it comes to it, the reality hits them that they're really doing something they really wanted to do. It's really not a job. It's not a job. They're having fun. It's more of an adventure, of an excitement than it is work.
That's the dream, right?
You done?
That's the dream, doing what you love for your job.
That's it.
So, do you all guys travel around a lot playing together?
We travel a lot.
Yeah, these guys are in the Keene Country Band, and I just borrowed them for this gig. Yeah, so I used to play with Grady for a while there. We would travel a little bit at least, and have you all over.
Played a lot of gigs together. We have really played a lot of gigs together. And I guess when I first met Dag, one of my favorite stories is when I first met Dag, and I said, I kept saying, huh? What are you saying? Huh? I couldn't understand him. He had this Norwegian
flair.
Yeah, you know, this accent. And then I was from Texas, and I mean, when I say Texas, I'm from the country Texas. I'm talking about, you know, crawdads and down on the hill, Texas. And he kept going, huh? So it was really something for us to even communicate, let alone write songs or play. But we just had a ball. We had a lot of fun. And
Still hard.
Into a real good relationship.
Yeah.
And a real good friendship.
Yeah, and I'm glad we got to do that last song. I'm glad we got to do that one, because that's a song that we kind of did live, and it takes a little. What do you call it? I'll lose my English anyway. Okay, here's your microphone.
So y'all guys both, you know, get gigs, and for people starting in the music industry, how do you do that? Do you have like a band manager? Do you get the gigs yourself? How do you do that? I'm sure it's different for both of you, for y'all.
Well, when I was growing up, we would go into places and ask if we can play, and a lot of times they wanted some kind of cover songs, and if you did the originals, that was a little bit of a trouble. So it wasn't really till I started playing country guitar with Grady and all that I got regular gigs, I would honestly say. Grady, he's been gigging since he was 11, so that's a little different.
I remember the days of the Texas dance halls that it was almost a family event that mom and dad and all the kids went to the dance hall. Of course, those days are about over. There's very few dance halls left in Texas, original dance halls. But as far as getting the gig, you know, I tell everybody the same thing Dag mentioned. You know what? If you get an opportunity to do anything, just like this show or anything else, that's how they find out who you are. You don't know who's going to watch what. You don't know who's going to be where when you're there, or, you know. And a lot of people focus more on the money than they do on the music. And if you really, truly love music in your heart, it's like me. Man, I play for nothing. But can we scratch that? Everybody will quit paying me now. Now I'll starve to death. But, you know, I mean, I'm serious. Really, if you're in this business strictly to make money, you might as well drive a cab. You're going to starve to death, okay? But if you enjoy it and you love it, you will be blessed with it.
Anything to add, sir?
No, y'all covered it.
The quiet man. So, for songs, you write your own songs. So this is something I'm pretty sure everyone knows. How do you, like, for scripts, you copyright things to make sure people don't steal them. So how is the legal aspect of doing that, you know, making your own songs and getting them legal and producing them basically?
I would say we had a discussion about that the other day, because what I do now with the digital age is to, first of all, you either be a member of BMI or ASCAP, or in my case it's Tono, which is a Norwegian BMI. But it's much more than that. But you can also go online. I don't know, I don't want to advertise for anybody, but you have the CD Baby, you have Reverb Nation, and you pay so much and they will, get your numbers and all that. But it's much more than that too, and I think Grady can say a few things about publishing and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that's actually the best way is through a publishing company. That's the more reliable way. When you record, they're going to put codes on those particular tracks or songs. And whenever they're spun, somebody's going to get paid. That's what it's about. And that, if you was asking about copyright, you can do that by yourself through the Library of Congress. So there's not just one way to do anything, you know. It's what best fits you and where your budget is at.
I just want to say one thing. If you ever have a chance to sign a contract or something like that, I would not do a contract that would limit you too much, because then you just get, I would say, you just get prevented from doing things. You know, that's because a contract is not like it was in the 70s. That's true. You know, you're not a rock star. You get a contract, you're not a rock star. You know, they might not even release your record.
So guys, we're coming towards the end of the interview, and this is a question I asked every single one of my guests that ever come on my show, is what would be the best piece of advice you could give to somebody trying to come into, say, the music industry? So I'll go around and everyone can give their best piece of advice.
Best advice is make sure you love what you do, and you kind of play because you cannot play. That's kind of why you need to have that drive to do it, or just enjoy music. If it's not enjoyable anymore, take a break and get back into it when you're ready.
I would say that don't let a no or some disappointment in your road of music keep you from struggling on. You know, anything worth doing has taken a struggle from somebody at some time to achieve, whether that be driving a car, riding a horse, riding a bicycle. So don't let a discouraging moment prevent you from going forward with a dream, you know. And like Dag said, first and foremost, love what you do.
Okay, couple of words of wisdom from one of the best musicians I've ever known in my life, world-class player, told me this. I said, how do you get to be as proficient as you are? And he looked at me and he said, Butch, play it, play it, play it until you're sick of playing it. Secondly, he said, you know how you get to Carnegie Hall? Practice, practice, practice.
That's it. Thank you guys so much. Like, honestly, I like doing these kind of interviews because I learn a lot. You know, I not only teaching them, but I'm learning from listening and asking these questions. So is there any like social media that we can find you on, listen to your music, you know, keep up?
Well, I got my dagking.com, and also Reverb Nation and these things. And I'm on Facebook. You just find Dag King there, and I'll be happy. I have like 2 friends, so maybe one more would be great. Okay, here's Grady.
Yes, you can find our music on keencountryband.com. You can find us on Facebook, Keen Country Band, and as well Reverb Nation. It's spelled K-E-E-N, just like, hey, that's real keen. So it's Keen Country Band and .com.
Actually, pardon me, I work with Grady now in his band, so that will follow suit. You'll see pictures of me, and God, what a horrible thought.
He just has his own Facebook.
That's right. And you can, if you want to follow my exploits with different people I play with, you can go to Facebook, Butch, and then put the little JJ behind that, Fox, and you'll find me with no problem.
Thank you guys so much for coming on my show today. We are going to follow this up with another song of y'all's. You want to did y'all introduce that song? You want to say what the song is now? Talk a little bit about it?
I'll let Dag do that.
Okay.
We are. We just practiced 2 songs, so but we'll do another one, right? And then you can cut it down to a minute or something. Oh yeah. Sure. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you guys. Y'all guys will see them play one more song, and then you'll get to see my beautiful face again. So thank you guys so much, and I will see you after the break.
Still Dad King here, and we're gonna do the second song. It's called "Somebody's Reason." Parentheses ain't mine. Right? Just like that. Well, sometimes I wonder why can't they leave me alone? Yeah. Well, everybody's bugging me about how I'm leading my life. Says somebody's reason ain't mine. Somebody's reason ain't mine. Well, I try to remember, I forget. Too much beer, I guess. Who I am, where I go, and that's the deal, Lord, give me a sign. Says somebody's reason ain't mine. Somebody's reason ain't mine. Says somebody's reason ain't mine. Somebody's reason ain't mine. Somebody's reason ain't mine.
Hey guys, welcome back to Slate Me. I'm your host Samantha here, and this is the end of the 7th episode of the 2nd season of Slate Me. So thank you guys so much, and I want to go ahead and thank all of my guests for this show, and thank y'all guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed, and I will see y'all next Thursday at 7 o'clock Central Time. Bye guys.